Oliver, Barclays is selling its subsidiary in Spain to Caixabank for 800 million euros. My question really is, if you have hung on to the Spanish banking system as a foreign investor for that long, why on earth would you sell out now at half times book value when the Spanish banking industry is trading at 1 times?
Because perhaps you're desperate to show some progress somewhere. Anthony Jenkins, the Barclays chief executive, is under a lot of pressure. And you're right, Barclays has held on through thick and thin, an awful lot of thin in the Spanish banking market. And you might well ask, why sell now at a bargain price? But Anthony Jenkins said this was a non-core business, said that some months ago, and he wants to show some progress with getting rid of that. So he's done it. It was a subscale business, and perhaps Barclays is better off out of it. But the timing and certainly the price does look as if Barclays was very, very keen to sell.
Okay, well, I mean, if Barclays saw the unit as subscale, Caixabank presumably thinks it can scale up quite considerably. Are we seeing the start of much larger consolidation in Spanish banking?
Yeah, it's part of a process that's continuing. Citi earlier this year sold its Spanish business. Lloyds sold its Spanish business last year. And meanwhile, BBVA has been buying up one of the state-owned banks in Catalonia. So there is a process of consolidation going on. It's a good thing because the Spanish banking system has an awful lot of cost that needs to be taken out. There's an awful lot of bank branches in Spain, one of the highest numbers in the EU, and then they need to take out some of those costs and also costs elsewhere. Some of these banks have quite high cost-to-income ratios. So the more consolidation that can happen, the better.
I mean, banking shareholders always like cost cutting, but I would wonder, don't they also like diversification? And isn't that what Barclays was offering to an extent, and is actually the point of foreign banks investing in different European countries? You have all these markets to play with. I mean, so aren't we backtracking there?
Slightly, yes, but then as an investor you can achieve that diversification in other ways. If you're a bank investor and you want a little bit of UK exposure and a little bit of Spanish exposure, you could buy full-scale banks in each. You could buy some of Caixabank and say some of Barclays or some of Lloyds in the UK. You don't need Barclays to do everything for you, particularly not if one of those subsidiaries, part of that diversification, turns out being subscale and not particularly impressive. You're much better off achieving that diversification yourself. But you're right, we are seeing a balkanisation of the banking industry across Europe, and I think that process is going to continue.
Okay, well, Barclays is out of Spain, but yes, we'll be watching that balkanisation. Thank you, Oliver.